Hello. So yet again another random and spontaneous video. The videos seem to be labelled as non-duality or radical non-duality. But I'm just talking about this aliveness that's just here. It seems to get overlooked. So when I say the aliveness, there's an aliveness that's here. I'm just talking about this life, the sense that something just is. People call it awareness or consciousness. That feeling that, well, it's the feeling that you exist, but there seems to be an illusion that there's a you that exists as a separate me character. So that's what gets talked about in my videos, really. I'm just talking about this isness, this aliveness that's just here, and also the exposure or the realization that the self character, that me character that you believe that you are, does not exist. It's kind of like it's an imagination, an idea, a thought, a story, an illusion, a dream. It's just not there. So if you are new to watching the channel or my videos, thank you for being here first of all, and thank you also to people that have watched all my other previous videos and become subscribers, and it's been great, really. Reading the comments and talking to people and emails. It's fascinating. I started this channel sort of 7 months ago, and it seems to be resonating with people out there, which is wonderful. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but it's just nice, I suppose. So this aliveness that's here right now is all there is. There's nothing else. That's what's been realized here, and I don't know why these videos are happening, but I seem to enjoy talking about, sort of, I mean, I don't like using the word awakenings, but realizations or glimpses that's happened here. And what's happened here is that it's been seen that the self character, the me character, isn't there, and it never was, and that this aliveness it really is all there is. So this that's here right now is all there is. There's nothing outside of what appears, because that would be an abstract of the mind. That would be a thought or an imagination or an idea. So if this is all there is, then nothing happened before this, and there is no next. There won't be anything after this. There isn't anything after this. There's only this. So the past didn't happen, and the future cannot happen. The future's never happened, because there's no time. What's amazing about, here anyway, what's been amazing about this realization is, because I look at the story of my life, which is a story. It's only a thought that appears now in this. There's only this. So that's the illusion of continuity, the illusion of the past, the illusion of the future. All appears in this. And, I look back in the story, I was always chasing, and I think this is the same for most people, really, ordinary searching, just chasing highs, chasing material things or success or achievements, looking forward to the weekend, looking forward to that holiday. It could be, looking forward to getting a new car or moving house or retirement or whatever. And it's a fucking joke, because this really is all there is. I've had a few phone calls with people over the last few months as well. People saying, well, is it not just boring? But it's always been this way. Only the imagined me character, which isn't there, could say that this is boring, because it wants something to chase. It's seeking. It's a seeker. The seeker isn't there. The seeker is the illusion. when the illusion's been seen through, so when the seeker has been seen for what it is, which is an imagined character, it isn't there, then all the seeking energy evaporates and falls away. And then you're just left with this, and I say just this, it's incredible. And it is enough. It's always enough, because it's all there is. There's nothing else. There's no teaching on offer here or advice. I'm just talking about the experience that's happened here and what it's like here. And when it's really energetically seen for what it is, in the sense that there is no past, there is no future, there's just this immediacy of what is. then it's wonderful. And I don't mean that in the sense that it can be blissful, or I mean, it can be blissful, but it's not a permanent state. I've always said that on the videos. This can appear as stress, worry, joy, peace, happiness. It can appear as any feelings or thoughts. It can appear as anything, but there's only this. So there's nothing to compare this to. So this aliveness that's here right now, there isn't another one. Only the imagined me character could compare this to another this, a fantasy this, a memory of another this. But they're just thoughts that arise in this. There's only this. But the seeker is trying to find this. But there's only this, so you can't find what is. It's a joke. The seeking is a joke. I'm not saying there's anything right or wrong with the seeking, because the seeking is also this. It's just this appearing as a seeker, or appearing as seeking. But this is always enough. Because it's all there is. There is nothing else. So the illusion is the sense of being a separate person. And it is an illusion, because if you try to find that me character that you think you are, that person with a name and a date of birth and a story, I'm not talking about the body. Obviously the body appears. I'm on about that me character. It's not there. It never was there. That's the illusion. That's the core. That's the core of non-duality. That's the main focus of my videos, really. It is. It can be seen as a really strange realization as well. But I mean, here anyway. Again, I'm just trying to be as honest as I can, authentic as I can, truthful. In the story, I mean, all my life I've been completely identified with this Gavin Brooks character. And I wouldn't say suddenly, because it would seem in the story it was a gradual process of undoing of the character, seeing through the character, and then realizing it's not there and it never was there. You know, and it can be, you know, it can be liberating and incredible and wonderful, but it could also be quite scary. And it was here in the story at certain times, especially when it was really seen clearly that there's nobody here. You know, if you're identified with the me character and you really feel like you're a separate person in a world with all these other people, um, then when it's realized clearly that there's no one in your body, then instantly there's no one else here. So all thoughts of other fall away with that. And then there's literally nobody here. But it can still appear like there is. There's so many things I want to say. But it would just seem so weird and strange. Like what happens here now is, you know, I could be in the kitchen making a cup of tea or coffee or making something to eat, and it's obvious that I'm not doing it. And I know it sounds crazy, because there's just this aliveness that's here, and the body appears within it. So all movements are choreographed by this aliveness. There's no one doing anything. And any feelings that arise are not yours. Any thoughts that arise are not yours. Any problems that arise are not yours. Everything's okay, always. It's always been that way. You know, even if it feels like it's not okay, it is okay, because it can't be any other way. Like, there's only this, there's not another this. That's the illusion, really. So if stress or depression comes knocking, then what's up with that? There isn't another this, so there's nothing to compare this to. So whatever arises is it. I feel like I'm a bit lost for words today. I feel really peaceful today as well. Quite relaxed and happy. I mean, what is this? Like, nobody knows what this is. Like, there's no reason to do anything. Nothing matters. And when that's seen clearly, there's no fear. There's no wanting it to be any other way. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. A lot of people ask, what led up to this realization? How was the self seen through? But it's just a story. If I tell you the story, and I have done on the videos, it doesn't matter. There's only this immediacy. And this immediacy, it has no characters or stories here. I mean, where are they? Can you see any characters? Can you see any stories anywhere? There are no things here. Can you see any labels on the things when you look at a tree or a chair or a table? No one knows what any of them are. They're just labels that you've been conditioned to believe. It is amazing though, isn't it? It's like we've all been tricked. We've all been tricked by beliefs, conditioning, language, to believe in this imaginary world, this illusion of form, of characters, stories, things, time, distance, measurements, colours. The colour green. Is it green? It's not green, is it? It's just that, what appears as energy appearing in that way. We've just labelled it green. All numbers and words made up. Bodies move by themselves. There's no doer inside that body, or your body, or anyone's bodies. All animals move round by themselves. By this unknown existence is doing it all. So any thoughts that arise, they've got nothing to do with what's happening. Because as soon as the thought arises, it's gone. And then this is timeless aliveness. This is brand new, always brand new. It'd be immediately, always immediacy. So how can the thought have anything to do with this immediacy when the thought's gone? Any thoughts of doing or not doing are irrelevant. Any thoughts of lack or abundance are irrelevant to this. So yeah, all that's being shared here is the, I don't even want to say the collapse of that center, of that belief in the center. It's not even a collapse in the self, it's just a realization that the self isn't. It's just not there. I must admit though, there does seem to be a fascination here in how society runs or functions. You know, it's been seen now, there's no doer, there's no one running this show. But it does seem that society is geared up or programmed in a way to cause suffering and struggle. You know, I don't know why that is. You know, I mean, you know, there's people that are thriving, you know, in abundance. But it would just seem that the way societies around the world, the apparent world, there seems to be lots and lots going on, lots of things, lots of processes. But none of them have got anything to do with you. It's only when you identify with anything really that's going on in your apparent life is where struggle or suffering can flower from. You know, this immediacy that's here right now, what's happening? There's nothing happening. Nothing ever happens. Nothing's going to happen. It only happens in thought. I mentioned it on another video. It's like a matrix, you know, like nothing's solid. So what this immediacy, no one knows what this is. No one knows what this is made of, how it's here. Nothing ever happens. This is brand new. It's a brand new immediacy right now. Nothing's happened before it. Nothing's going to happen. It's all thought based, all that noise going on is irrelevant. And I really mean that as well. It's completely irrelevant. And I know that sounds harsh because you might have children, a wife, and a job, career, money stuff going on, and all this illusion going on, and it can feel so real, but it's not happening. Seems to be happening. So this unknown existence seems to be playing a movie. And the movie can appear as separate characters, but there's no one here. I'm not making this up. It's not a belief. There's nothing. I'm not teaching anyone to believe anything here. It's just an obvious fact. In direct seeing, there's only this immediacy. What is actually happening right now? This is brand new right now. There's nothing happening. And it's always been that way. That's the joke. So nothing's actually ever happened. And I know this is where it gets, that's why I call it a clear seeing. People can understand this message intellectually, but maybe not energetically or really see it clearly. I'm trying to explain it the best I can. This immediacy is everything. There's nothing else. A thought that arises is nothing. It's got no value. It's just a movement of energy. So a thought might arise of something that happened in your life 5 years ago. But that thought that arises, it's not your thought anyway. You can't choose it. But that thought that arises of a memory that happened in your life 5 years ago is exactly the same as a bird flying across the sky. Exactly the same. It's just that you believe it happened. But there is no you. That's the illusion. There's no doer, there's no self. And when that's seen clearly, it is game over. And it's not an achievement. There's been times here where I've actually thought about deleting this channel. Thoughts have arose here to stop making the videos or to remove the channel because, there's no advice really or teaching, or there's nothing that anyone can do to see this or not see it. It would appear that way from watching non-duality videos that you might have a clear seeing. That's nothing can lead up to this because nothing happened before this. So even this video is irrelevant. But it's nice to resonate with others that seem to be drawn to this message. I watched, as I've mentioned, I don't really watch non-duality videos anymore, but I watched them for sort of about 5 years. And there's no evidence at all that that leads to a no self-realization, because it's a story appearing now in this immediacy. There's only this immediacy. It's always been that way. I'm not denying that there seems to be a story playing out. So, I'm looking out my window now. It's a nice, sunny, windy day, and it's the 11th of March, 2026. And, I can look forward to the spring and the summer time approaching here in the UK, especially with the clocks going forward in a few weeks' time. Now, that story that I've just told is a story that's appearing now in this immediacy. That's what I mean. It's incredible how this it's so difficult to explain, especially when you start talking about time and how time appears in the timelessness. It's a joke. It's I don't know. It's really difficult to explain. I mean, the fact that there's even time zones and clocks going forward and backwards for spring and autumn and fall, then that just eliminates the reality of time straight away. How you can have a phone call with someone in a different country and they say it's 7 o'clock, but you say it's 9 o'clock. I mean, there's no time. There's just this that's happening right now. There's no distance. There are no countries. When you're having a conversation with someone in a different country, it appears in this immediacy as sound or vibration through words and sounds. That's it. Then thought, the me character, claims ownership of the situation and layers a story on top of what is. So yeah, there really is nothing happening. And that can be seen as a relief or a terrible shock. Depends, it can be seen both ways, really. I mean, here the emptiness at times can be overwhelming. I can't even explain that feeling, really, of there's been times where there's sitting here and, well, there's just sitting, there's nothing else. But it can also happen, in a busy place, or driving, or walking around a town centre with thousands of people around. It doesn't matter what the appearance is. There's only this immediacy, and it's like a movie screen. It's like a screen, and whatever appears on the screen appears. It's not for you. So nothing actually changes. That's the paradox, really. This aliveness that's here, or you can call it this space. So this space that's just here doesn't change. It's completely still, unmoved, untouched. It's got no beliefs. It's got no time. It's nothing. It's nothing that can appear as anything. It doesn't change. So, as I said in the story, you could get up and move around the world. I'm in the UK. I could jump in my car now, drive to Manchester Airport, get on a plane, and fly to Germany. But this immediacy doesn't change. The content on the screen changes, but this immediacy does not change. It does not move. Nothing's happening. You just think it's happening. So there's what's actually happening and what you think is happening. So even if you're on a flight right now watching this video, there's just being on a flight. You're not going anywhere. You've never been anywhere. It's just thought-based. It's incredible. Just because this has been seen clearly, it doesn't mean you turn into some incapable fool and not being able to, function in the illusion. Of course you can. It's always been that way. It's just a realization of what you're not. It's a realization of what's actually not happening. Because there's nothing happening. There's only this immediacy. It's timeless. Like, nothing's ever gone wrong or right. It's because it's just this. Like, you cannot make a mistake. It's impossible, because there is no you to make a mistake. Mistakes might appear, but they've got nothing to do with you. And they're not mistakes. This doesn't make a mistake. Again, there's no advice or teaching or practices on offer here, because that's just a contradiction of everything that I talk about in the videos, and that's why I've exposed spirituality recently as well in a video. There is no self, there's no doer, there's only this immediacy. And if that appears as a separate self in time, then that's what's appearing. There's nothing right or wrong with that. Or if it's appearing as only this immediacy, then that's what's appearing as well. But I suppose the realization is just it's more about seeing what you're not. There's nothing to gain by this. So this message I'm sharing here, there's nothing to gain at all. It's just a recognition of what already is, and it's always been that way. So it's more of a realizing what you're not, or removing where you can't remove. Yes, I mean you can't do anything, but it's just seeing that the layers and layers of stories, labels, the unlearning, or it's removing beliefs, removing labels, removing knowledge, removing stories. But it's not you that's doing that. I mean, that's why I call it a clear seeing. There's no one to see. It's just seeing. There's just this. There's no responsibility. There's nothing to control. There's nothing to achieve. There's nothing to do. Yet all them things can happen. Nobody owns anything. No one's got anything. Because that's just a thought arising now in this immediacy. There's no time. This is brand new. It's always brand new. You've never been a 5-year-old girl or boy. There's only this immediacy. It's never not been this. So your whole story of your life appears in this timelessness as a thought. It's all thought based. It's any thoughts that arise of your apparent past. They're not old memories, the brand new appearances in this unmoved aliveness. As I said, it doesn't move. You can't. It's untouched. It's completely neutral. There's nothing that's right. There's nothing that's wrong. There's no morals. There's no beliefs. There's no polar opposites. Yet all them things can appear within this. Yeah, I feel like that was a bit of a weird video as well. I hope that was all right. I said I don't even know why I'm making the videos. It just seems to be what's happening. And I don't believe really. I don't believe in anything, but I don't really believe I can help anyone. But if I can, then I would gladly do that. I don't know how. I don't know if these videos are helping people or not. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know how many people watch these videos, and I don't know how many actually have had a clear seeing of what's being shared here. Or, I mean, I'm guessing, I don't know, but the majority of people are seekers that watch the videos and but it's a trap, honestly. If there's nothing to seek. There's nothing wrong with the seeking either. That's just what's happening. I was a seeker for decades. It's the time thing for me anyway. The illusion of time is that's the big one, really. That's what the seeker is. The seeker is time. Like, this immediacy has no time, so it's impossible to be a seeker in this immediacy. In fact, any seeker dies in this immediacy. Where would the seeker be here? The seekers can only be in time. The seeker's in the future, in the imagined future, or the me character's suffering of events in the past. It's in time. It's all thought based. None of it's happening. The future has never arrived. It can't. There is no future. There's only this immediacy. And it's enough. It's always enough, because it's all there is. But that's what I mean. The thoughts are not yours. I mean, a thought's just popped up here now. I've got parents' evening for my 2 boys this afternoon. I did not choose that thought to pop up right then. So it seems to be like a program, a movie being played. And this is going to sound weird, so there's this character here, and there's a knowing now. There's no one to know this, but there's a knowing that the character is not mine. The story is not mine. That character that you think you are does not belong to you. The story is not yours. None of the thoughts and the feelings are yours. It can feel so real, though. I mean, what a trick. It's amazing. And it still baffles me. I think it's incredible how so few people, see through it. I mean, having conversations with people now that are completely identified with the illusion and their me character in the stories is, I don't want to say it's a bit of a comedy in a way, but there's compassion here as well. It's no one's fault. No one's at blame for believing that they are a separate self, and they really feel strongly in their story and other people's stories. No, I'm not. There's no judgment here, because there's no doer. It's just what's happening. I don't know why, but for some reason, this unknown existence seems to want to keep the majority of people locked into the illusion of the imagined self. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's meant to happen or not, but in certain bodies, it can be seen through. And there is a aloneness. There's an aloneness, very much so, to this when it's seen, but it's such a peaceful, it's a paradox. You're completely alone, yet this is always here, and it's always enough. Can't explain it. It's not lonely. So lonely. It's not loneliness. You know, being lonely is you being miserable and lonely and feel like you're missing out on events, or you know, you want someone in your life. That's a needy, seeking energy. That's not what I'm talking about. There's an aloneness of contentment and peace. It's lovely. Even when it's not. So if a feeling of grief or sadness comes, it's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. But yeah, thank you for watching as usual. Yeah, I felt that was a bit of another weird video. I hope, you know, people resonate with it. It doesn't matter anyway. But there's only this immediacy. It's always been that way. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about anything. Now, worry may arise, but it's not your worry. It's just this appearing as worry. Nothing's actually happening. It's just an appearance that will come and go. But yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for the kind donations and comments and emails and phone calls. It's much appreciated. Yeah, kind of gives some kind of encouragement to keep the videos going. Because as I said, sometimes you know, I think to myself, you know, do I really want to be making these videos? Because, you know, it would seem some people are just not ready to see through the me character. They don't want to let go. And I mean, there's no right or wrong, and there's no doer anyway, but sometimes there's a feeling of guilt here that I'm, you know, killing someone's dreams, if that makes sense. But it's all innocent. But yeah, I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.